them out. The British and Americans came after the Spanish, and took their stuff, right, and and they had the Americans. Exceptionalism, I guess, is something that people are surprised when they're overthrown. And I guess they're shocked because after you've been running things so long, you think you can't, right. You're going to be there. That, no, I've been like this and I'm going to be here, I guess they call it exceptionalism. Everybody had it wrong in the British. They thought, ain't nobody, we're going to be here, So they look up and they're going, why? This is a natural process that Aladdin put in charge. He gave every group of people a chance to rule and lead, in the world. And the ones that didn't gain leadership, they had their own tribal, regional leaders, and what have you. And petty conquests back and forth, raiding villages and all of that. So this stuff has been going on all the time. So Allah wanted to be gracious to a people that's been oppressed and depressed in the land. And for us, we recognize that people easy because we see ourselves in that picture. Other people don't see it like that. They don't see that they don't have any idea. They're taking this like this was Pharaoh way back when. So if any new Musa or any recent Musa pop up, they're not going to recognize that Musa. And then the people that's starry-eyed by the glitter of Pharaoh, they're not going to see these either. Right? So the people, even in Moses' time, from Moses' tribe, they're going to be glitterized by the glitter. Let's call it glitterized. So they're not going to see no modern Moses. Because Pharaoh got jets, Pharaoh got he in the big time. They're not going to see it. Because they dazzle, the Quran, they dazzle. They just bedazzle, redazzle, pro-dazzle, con-dazzle, they all kind of dazzleration. They dazzle because they can't see, right? They can't see it, okay? But Allah wanted to be gracious to those people because, it says clearly, because they were weak and oppressed in the land. That means the natural process is going to go on, continue, as long as the human being is here. But we have a chance now. We have a chance now to reinstate the balance in Allah's creation. And that's been our mission all along. To reinstate, that's the part we want to play. So now we're going to choose the part we're going to play. But parts have stages. The stage of strategic management under condition of repression could have easily been a phase, which it was to understand strategy and management and all of those things, right? Psychological guerrilla warfare could be a proof of that by using those strategies, right? Strategic management. You look and you see, hey, what is our situation? Where are we at? What can we do? And our environments needs someone to make an example out of Pharaoh. He ain't gonna get spinning around in the water like before, right? But in modern times, Pharaoh has exceeded the limits. He's overflowed his bounds like any river, Tagar. where the word tagut comes from. So we have a modern Pharaoh. He have all the exact same characteristics as the past pharaohs, because all the other people, right, that was oppressors, followed the same thing that Pharaoh did. They just called him a king or something. Throughout history, it's been like that. So we have to study our situation, and then we have to wonder, okay, why did we go back to Oakland at the first of the year? We just said, well, Soleimani got killed, but and then this happened and that happened. But is that the reason? Do Allah want us here? Right? Do Allah want us here? And if Allah wants us here, like, if we're picking up on our environmental circumstances, well, why we take it easy? We ain't, before, we would, if we was going to fix that house, we'd fix it in 2 weeks. We do this, we do that. Of course, we don't take care of all that. But why no hurry? Well, it could be that they're under a dispensation. What's that dispensation? That it's not our job to overthrow Pharaoh. That's the secret that we learned in all this doing that. It was our job to show everybody all this other stuff, but did Moses defeat Pharaoh, or did Allah defeat Pharaoh? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Who established Islam? Did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He was an agent of Allah, right? But all those big victories, everything turning the hearts of all the people, it was Allah. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ. When Allah's help and victory come, and you see groups of people entering the religion in companies, celebrate the praises of Allah, right? This is just in case he was thinking, yeah, shoot out Muhammad, like at the Battle of Hunayn. I don't know if you heard. The Battle of Hunayn, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I'm Muhammad Abdullah. I don't know what y'all talking about. Shoot. I'm from the Quraysh, and you know, it was nice, because every night, but it just shows you confidence. Okay. But he didn't, it was a lot of reorganizing people so they wouldn't totally lose that situation, right? That's why we're not back in California. That's why we're here. Because it's not strategic management under conditions of repression. That's good, and everybody can see. Not psychological guerrilla warfare. That's great, because everybody saw it, right? So technically, everybody should be ready for whatever else is coming. But the defeat of Pharaoh 2020, 21, maybe it may take 22. Shoot, it may go far as 23. Allah knows best. But boss man is headed down. Our boss man, you can call it a day. It ain't that I don't see nothing he can do. And we're taking credit for it. Just like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just like Musa alayhi salam was given credit in a way for the defeat of Pharaoh, right? And so Musa is mentioned more than Allah is mentioned, right? But everybody knows it was Allah. And everything that Musa went through brought up in Pharaoh's house, right? So he get a chance to study kingship, leadership, and he get a chance to have access to all the wealth that he'd like. Then he's sent to Midian, right? Really to outgrow all that, for that environment to purify him. He's out there getting cleansed. Boy, look here. That's what he said. To strip all that. Okay, you had all that, now you know what it is. Now I'm preparing you. That's what the Quran says. I am preparing, did not bring you up under my own eyes, and prepare you specifically for this mission. And now here you are in my service, right? According to a copy. That's what happened. Okay, now, in religious terminology, in historical terminology, all we're going to do is repeat the same thing that we have. I mean, it's, right? Look, this is front page news. Pharaoh is in bad shape. Boy, Pharaoh been making mistakes. Pharaoh can stumble over this. Pharaoh, that's what's news. That's Pharaoh. This news 3,000 years ago would have been that news. That's what, if they had newspapers, that's what you'd be. Pharaoh looked bad for Pharaoh, boy. And everything Pharaoh touched, it just blow up in his face. Everything, and it don't make no difference what Pharaoh do, he's a goner. That's what the news would have said. Yeah. And now he's gonna run off and chase Moses. Boy, he ought to stay home. Right. He ain't gonna stay home. Yeah. If he done had people wiping blood on their house, and they go by everybody's house, I mean, they go kill off everybody else, the first son, and they leave the people that's got the Passover stuff on their house. That ain't nothing. That's what all of this stuff is that's going on. See, nothing here. You know, and this guy, he's a real pharaonic buffoon. He expresses Pharaoh plus with a Barnum and Baileyism to it. You know what I mean? The greatest show on earth. This guy, hey man, he's really, it's great. Because it's good looking at it. I can't wait to go back and turn on the news right now. Because, I mean, you know, where Sunday they have all these shows, yeah. They play them over. Or you can listen to the radio and get all the Sunday shows, State of the Nation. So whatever I didn't see, Meet the Press, I'm just going, because it's like front page news. They just don't have Pharaoh's name on it. You know, they don't have, this is great. Well, why are we here? Why are we here? We're here because this is, Allah gonna take boss man out. Sure, we may file our stuff and get we're going to say $100 million. We deserve $100 million. People look and they say, $100 million? Well, you guys haven't did that much. Well, they counted up how much boss man been stealing from us. How many, we've been doing this for 40 years. And boss man, can you imagine? We're not going to say if, because, but suppose we would have been left alone. Just to do, at the momentum we've been had all along. Let's say we would have had a minimum of 50 masajid. Minimum. And the way we were moving, the way we moved here, the way we moved there. That would have been worth, hands-on, at least $50 million. At least. If we'd had a place like this in all these, in every city, with all this little stuff. And remember, we got this with boss man trying to stop us. You got to understand, go back, run it back. We got here. When we trying to climb the pole and boss man up there pouring grease on the pole. That's how we got here. We were running up the hill with a 200-pound pack on anti-plastic to make you sweat and all that, and we running uphill, right? And boss man got a heater and a fan in front of you just blowing heat on you, right? That's how we got here. That's really how if you study, and so imagine just regular motivational, positive thinking, all that stuff, what we would have done. We knew what we did before with, let's call them drug houses. So all I did when I come to the truth, I said, hey, if I could put drug houses all over just like that, I could do Masjid the same way. That's why I thought about it, and it was true. Hey, if you think like that, there's nothing to it. Even at one time I had the idea about, well, we would speed up with, we call them McDonald Masjid. That means we buy a house like that, or any of these. Then we'll put a big box on it after we had built all these little things. We'll put a box on it that'll hold 100 people. Well, we can do that 2, 3 a year, right? That'll get the people started. Teach and train, have somebody in there, and they'll have a place to go to the bathroom. If they want to have a few classrooms, the little house will do that, right? All it needs is a little house and a big yard. They want to cook food, they got all that in the little house. And they got to call it the McDonaldization of the Islamic movement. That means, and all we do is we go there, we didn't count it up, it costs us so many $1,000 to put a box, like all these just boxes, on the houses. 100 people can sit in there, right? That's to get started. Get on up and they do the rest themselves. Okay, well, why are we still here then? We're still here because we are completing, or we are doing our mission. And we might be doing a reasonable job. But our job is not to do away with boss man. Boss man, that's Allah's job. That's Allah's. That's for Allah. We got everything on us. We got sanctions. Like if they said Iran is sanctioned, then they got Venezuela is sanctioned. They got a lot of people sanctioned. We're sanctioned too. Do you know we can't even, I forgot to bring a stack of checks with Masjid al-Islam. I can't, every time I get a bank account with Masjid al-Islam, I have it for a while and they close it out. I said, I'm not going to be bothered with y'all anymore. They closed out 6 accounts. Well, they turned 3 of the big accounts over to Mukhtar. They left 3. And then they said, oh, you can use those for a while. I use them a little while. And then they closed them out. I got a Chase Bank. And they just closed that out last 2 months ago. I got everywhere. I go to Wells Fargo, and they said, well, you can't get no account. Oh, my dad said, so why not? Well, they said, because are you in charge of the things out there? I'm not going to waste no time arguing with them. Fine. So if anybody wants to send big money, just send it either in cash or my slave name, which we'll give you in a little while. But Masjid al-Islam, please, no checks. I can't cash them. I done had 8 or 10 or 12 accounts in Masjid al-Islam. They close them out. Just like that. Okay. But they ain't closing us out. Why? Because we're still here. But one thing I want to mention as I go along, we mentioned the bookstore the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do with the books is, and this is the advertisement for the books, we're going to do vintage books over there.
Okay.
So we want y'all to send us, you clean out, your father just passed away, your parents or somebody, and y'all got all those old Islamic books up there in the cabinet or somewhere, just send them to us. Of course, free of charge. books. That's what we're going to do here. Vintage books.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not modern, up-to-date books. We might have a few of those.
I think they're called.
Vintage books. That's going to be, it's not a market thing, but you look for a niche. Vintage books, right now, vintage books, half the people don't read books anymore. They can get everything off the internet. All Islam you want is on the internet. Right? Okay. So people are not reading or using all those old collections that they have. So if you have those old collections, just send them to us. The address is right there, 4603 Betty Road, Southeast DC. Yep, 20019. Just send it to us. If somebody has passed away in your family and they have all of those books and you don't know what to do with them, send them to us. And that's what we're going to be. You have to choose something that you like to do. So, vintage books. So people that want to find all the books that we studied when we was coming up, they'll be able to come here and get them. We'll even go to some of the book distributors around. Hey man, what y'all doing with your old books? In fact, technically I will. I want to visit everybody. Hey man, y'all got all them old books. What you gonna do with all them old books? That's the way I used to do with Qurans and everything. You know, I visited the AMC office down there, you know, and all of them. So y'all got some nice Yusuf Ali's in there for dawah. So people like Esau and them, Fareed, them would be down. I said, man, let me have 3-4 boxes of them books. That's 30 or 40 books. Quran, you know. When I used to, boy, books was fun. I'm gonna get back on the subject. But they had 2 Negroes, or 1 Negro, working over at the distribution center, and used to be across from Adams Center. What's that town out there?
Dulles?
All Dallas was not where it is now. It used to be in, I think of that little town right out there. But it was, all Dallas was out there. They used to have all the book deposits out there.